In the vast expanse of existence where shadows dance with the flickering flames of hope, we often find ourselves ensnared in the seductive embrace of kindness. It presents itself as a beacon of light amidst the darkness, promising solace and connection in a world fraught with chaos and turmoil. Yet beneath its beguiling exterior lies a labyrinth of pitfalls and perils, waiting to ensnare the unwary traveler. Let us embark on a journey of introspection, my fellow seekers of truth, as we navigate through the intricate web of 20 ways in which kindness can subtly erode the very fabric of our lives. 1. The burden of expectation. Every act of kindness, no matter how noble, carries with it the weight of expectation. Like seeds sown in fertile soil, these expectations take root in the hearts of others, blossoming into towering trees of demand that cast their shadows upon our very souls. We find ourselves chained to the whims and desires of those we seek to help, burdened by the weight of obligations unspoken. 2. The erosion of boundaries. In our relentless pursuit of altruism, we often sacrifice the sacred boundaries that define us. We allow others to encroach upon our time, our energy, and our sense of self, until there is nothing left but a hollow shell, stripped bare of its essence. Our boundaries blur, and we lose sight of where we end and others begin. 3. The tyranny of guilt. Kindness, when wielded indiscriminately, can become a weapon of guilt, piercing the armor of our resilience and leaving us vulnerable to the relentless assault of self-doubt and recrimination. We become prisoners of our own conscience, haunted by the specter of unmet needs and missed opportunities. 4. The illusion of control. We deceive ourselves into believing that kindness grants us mastery over the chaotic currents of life. Yet, in reality, it is but a fleeting illusion, a fragile raft adrift on the tempestuous sea of fate. We grasp for control, only to find our fingers slipping through the sands of time, our efforts in vain. We cannot control the outcomes of our actions, no matter how well-intentioned they may be. 5. The betrayal of self. In our noble quest to alleviate the suffering of others, we often betray the most sacred covenant of all, the covenant with ourselves. We sacrifice our own needs, our own desires, upon the altar of selflessness until we are but empty vessels adrift in a sea of altruism. We lose sight of our own essence, swallowed whole by the needs of others. 6. The peril of dependency. Kindness, when dispensed without discernment, breeds dependency in its wake. We create a vicious cycle of need and provision until we find ourselves ensnared in the very web we sought to unravel. We become enablers, perpetuating a cycle of dependence that threatens to suffocate us in its embrace. 7. The tyranny of emotion. Beneath the veneer of kindness lies a tempest of emotion, threatening to engulf us in its turbulent wake. We are swept away by the currents of compassion, our rationality drowned in the sea of sentiment. We lose ourselves in the maelstrom, adrift in a sea of unchecked emotion. Our decisions become clouded by sentimentality, and we lose sight of the truth. 8. The diminishment of resilience. Kindness, when overindulged, robs us of our resilience in the face of adversity. We grow soft and complacent, unable to weather the storms that life inevitably brings. We become like fragile reeds, bending to the will of every passing breeze, until we break beneath the weight of our own fragility. We must cultivate resilience in order to withstand the challenges of life. 9. The corruption of purpose. We delude ourselves into believing that kindness is our purpose, our raison d'être. Yet, in truth, it is but a means to an end, a fleeting glimpse of fulfillment in an otherwise empty existence. We lose sight of our true purpose, our true calling, as we chase after the fleeting mirage of altruism. Our purpose must come from within, rooted in our values and convictions. 10. The denial of truth. Kindness, at its core, is a denial of the harsh truths of existence. We shield ourselves from pain and suffering, refusing to acknowledge the inherent chaos of the universe. We bury our heads in the sand, clinging to the illusion of a world governed by benevolence and goodwill. We must confront the realities of life, even when they are uncomfortable or painful. 11. The mask of deception. Kindness can often be used as a mask, concealing our true intentions and motivations from both ourselves and others. We hide behind a facade of benevolence, while secretly harboring ulterior motives and desires. We must be honest with ourselves and others about our intentions, even when it is difficult. 12. The erosion of authenticity. In our quest to be perceived as kind and compassionate individuals, we may sacrifice our authenticity and genuineness. We become actors on a stage, performing acts of kindness not out of true conviction, but out of a desire for external validation. We must strive to be true to ourselves even when it means risking disapproval or rejection from others. 13. The illusion of control. Kindness can lead us to falsely believe that we have control over the outcomes of our actions. We may become attached to specific outcomes, leading to disappointment and frustration when things do not go according to plan. We must learn to let go of our attachment to outcomes and accept that we cannot control everything. 14. The distortion of boundaries. Excessive kindness can blur the boundaries between ourselves and others, leading to a loss of identity and autonomy. We may become enmeshed in the lives and problems of others, neglecting our own needs and well-being in the process. We must maintain healthy boundaries in our relationships and prioritize our own self-care. 15. The sacrifice of self. Ultimately, unchecked kindness can lead to the sacrifice of our own needs, desires, and aspirations. We may neglect our own growth and development in favor of constantly serving the needs of others, leading to feelings of resentment and dissatisfaction. We must prioritize our own well-being and fulfillment even as we strive to help others. 16. The distraction from personal growth. Excessive focus on kindness towards others can distract us from our own personal growth and development. We may become so preoccupied with helping others that we neglect our own aspirations and ambitions. We must strike a balance between helping others and nurturing our own growth. 17. The enabling of negative behavior. Kindness, when not tempered with discernment, can enable negative behavior in others. By constantly accommodating the needs and desires of others, we may inadvertently reinforce harmful patterns and attitudes. We must learn to set boundaries and hold others accountable for their actions. 18. The depletion of resources. Excessive kindness can deplete our own resources, leaving us vulnerable and depleted. We may find ourselves financially or emotionally drained from constantly giving to others without replenishing our own reserves. We must prioritize self-care and ensure that we have enough resources to sustain ourselves. 19. The distortion of relationships. Kindness, when not balanced with honesty and authenticity, can distort our relationships with others. We may hide our true thoughts and feelings in an effort to maintain harmony, leading to superficial and inauthentic connections. We must cultivate relationships based on mutual respect and openness. 20. The loss of individuality. Excessive focus on kindness towards others can lead to a loss of individuality and autonomy. We may become so enmeshed in the needs and desires of others that we lose sight of our own identity and values. We must maintain a strong sense of self and assert